What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Gooner, a channel dedicated to all things Arsenal Football Club, who, as we all know, are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. And if you don't know, now you know. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at all the news and latest out of our beloved club on this Wednesday, the 22nd of February. Before we get going, though, you might just want to quickly hit that subscribe button so that you can be kept up to date. I post every single day. The first bit of news coming out yesterday was that Mohamed El Neni, our longest serving player, which is still weird to think that, but he is our longest serving player, has signed a contract extension until 2024. Absolute hero, Mohamed El Neni, always gives his best and is a real character around the club. Apparently, this contract will take him to his 8th season with Arsenal, having signed for Arsene Wenger in 2016 from Swiss giants Basel. If there are Swiss giants. The 30-year-old is now, as I said, entering his 8th season and is a fan favourite. Perhaps not technically the most gifted player in the team. Perhaps that's an understatement. But certainly somebody who brings a lot more than just that. And I thought that could be best summed up by how he shared his heartfelt message to the fans. He said, "A new chapter begins in my journey with Arsenal. I've just signed a new contract. Arsenal for me isn't just a club I joined 7 years ago, which makes me the longest serving player currently. Arsenal is home, family, happiness, growth and ambition. My Arsenal family, I love you." Well, I for one certainly love you right back, and I'm delighted that you're going to be not leaving us at the end of the season, which is about when you're hopefully going to be fit again, or sooner, fingers crossed. Now, a player that might be going the other way, and this is purely, as far as I can see, speculation and hypothetical, but it probably wouldn't surprise any of us, is Kieran Tierney. Now, just over a year ago, it was unthinkable that our best left back would even be considered for a departure. But I think that what's becoming clear with the few minutes he's getting is that he just doesn't figure. It's not the sort of left back that Arsenal want, and certainly Alexander Zinchenko has come in and really made that position his own. We do have some Europa League games coming up where I would expect him to start, and Mikel Arteta even said as much. But if this is being driven by anyone, it's more than likely being driven by Kieran Tierney himself. He's too young and too good to just play second fiddle without any minutes whatsoever. Now, as I said, it's pure speculation. Arteta has come out and said great things about him, and I have yet to hear anything from Tierney himself. But a lot of the speculation is centred around the fact that Newcastle could come in for him, and the price tag being mooted is around 30 million. So this is all just speculation at the moment. Personally, and I think I speak for a lot of us when I say it would be really sad to see him go. This is a player who was being very strongly considered for the captaincy of Arsenal, and somebody who really helped raise spirits when we were in a bit of a low patch, and was there for the rejuvenation of our team that has happened. I hope that we are able to find a place for him. I don't think it's beyond reason to expect that we will need two very good left backs, and he's certainly either a great first choice or an absolutely outstanding backup. So I hope there isn't much to this, but I will keep you updated if I hear anything new. Next up is Folarin Balogun, who's another player who people have been talking about. As many of you will know, he has, for a lot of this season, topped the goal-scoring charts in Ligue 1. Now, irrespective of what you think of that league, it does include some of the world's greatest players, and he has been outperforming many of them in the goal-scoring charts. It's no secret that look, I don't know how to say the club he's playing at. Is it Rem or Rem or Reem? I don't know, right? But that team that he's at, the chairman has said, as well as the manager has come out and said that they would love to keep him, but there's no option for that. There's no possibility of that. He is too good a player either to be staying at Rem. Mikel Arteta has encouragingly come out and said some really wonderful things about him. He heaped praise on Balogun, said, "I'm so happy for him. He's a boy with a really clear idea of what he wants to do in his career. He's really ambitious, really committed, and he's really brave." We discussed before whether it was the right place to go on loan to Rem and other choices that he had. He was so convinced, and I'm really happy for him because he deserves that. He deserves what he's getting. Now, the Arsenal boss added, "I'm very pleased, and obviously you look at the numbers and what he's doing is just incredible and very rare to see that." But he's got something special. That's why we gave him a long-term contract and have faith in him and give him the long period that he's having now, because the period he's having now is different to the one before at Middlesbrough. But that one was necessary to see the outcome that we're having now. So from that, it sounds like Arteta sees it as a long-term project. Certainly, I think to cover this, as I have done before, do I think that having 3 strikers is too many? No. And I'm not sure why anybody would. Gabriel Jesus out injured. Eddie Nketiah is up on his own at the moment. Would it be nice if Folarin Balogun could challenge him for that? Or maybe, I'm old enough to remember when people used to play 2 strikers. I know Man City have given that a try recently as well. I think that the idea of Folarin Balogun doing as well as he has, and having the kind of rapport that he seems to have with Mikel Arteta, he spoke in glowing terms about Mikel not so long ago as well, that this seems to me set up to give him at least a try in the Premier League next season, and I for one very much hope that. But if we are looking to cash in on a player, a Folarin Balogun, then this would be the time to do it. He's never going to, realistically, if he doesn't have as good a season next season, he's not going to achieve the same amount of money. But it is strange that in the same breath that people talk about us looking to offload him, and certainly if he's leaving because we've got too many we don't need 3 strikers, then you can't take too seriously these reports that Arsenal are preparing a quote-unquote monstrous offer to bring Atalanta striker Rasmus Højlund to the Premier League. Now, Arteta has been playing Eddie up front, as we know, in the absence of Jesus. More senior attacking reinforcement is apparently needed, according to this source. The Denmark international's contract at Gevis Stadium isn't set to expire until 2027, but Gian Piero Gasparini's second top performing offensive player has caught the eye of the hierarchy at the Emirates Stadium. According to the Italian outlet La Repubblica, I think, Arsenal are closely monitoring Højlund, but are set to face stiff competition from Real Madrid. We apparently are readying what they call a monstrous offer, with his price tag potentially having been revealed. Calcio Mercato state that the Serie A outfit will not make any discounts for anyone and are not expected to let him go for less than 50 million, which doesn't seem like a monstrous offer at all, and I don't know how much truth there is in this. Certainly a very interesting player, but I don't think you could credit too much. In fact, when it comes to transfers, there's a couple of points here. One, I don't really like talking about them because we're in the middle of a season. Nothing's going to happen till the off-season, and there's so much talk every day about the same old players. I'm sure we're all fed up with hearing about Yuri Tielemans, although I will add that apparently Ten Hag is now jumped ahead in the race to sign Yuri Tielemans. I'm not sure why we didn't sign him when we had a chance. I know that he's a free transfer, and that would be absolutely wonderful, but let's talk about it when there's something more tangible on the table. Along those lines, I think this kind of falls into that bracket. Interesting player, I haven't really seen much of. I don't watch a lot of Serie A, but let's see. Fresneda is another one who is constantly being mooted at the moment, and I know that we came very close to signing him in January, but it just didn't get across the line. Apparently, that's one that will get done in summer. Again, I have no idea if it's true or not, and I think we should all be happy enough to focus on football at the moment. Champions League is back, and Europa League will be back soon enough as well. There's plenty to talk about before we get into transfers. Having said that, I did just want to say I found it amusing that the chairman of Shakhtar Donetsk is apparently reporting in a conversation he had with a reporter that he knows Mudryk is not particularly happy and joked they might buy him back. Well, not that I want to engage in a huge amount of schadenfreude. Chelsea is a team I have absolutely no love for whatsoever. Money can buy you lots of things, but apparently it cannot buy you higher than a top 10 position in the Premier League. Joking aside, I think they are going to come good. Whether it's Graham Potter that guides them there, whether they can actually afford to sack him with the kind of deal he's on is another question. But I do enjoy the fact that Mudryk has yet to be on a winning team, let alone score or provide an assist. And when all the fury of the transfer window was telling us that we'd lost out on a world-class player, as premature as it is to start gloating, I'm really glad that we signed Trossard. I don't think we would have signed both. and I think that Trossard strikes me as a ready-to-go player who's what we needed in the off-season, and that you can't get away from the fact that although the Shakhtar Donetsk chairman himself says that Mudryk is one of the top 3 players in the world, and it's only down to the fact he's not enjoying himself at Chelsea that we're not seeing the best of him, certainly I think the jury would still have to be out on whether he can adapt to the Premier League. Finally, the squad news. We seem to have had a pretty full team in training. Fantastic to see Emil Smith Rowe training with the first team. He looks like he's going to be ready, as does Reece Nelson, for Saturday's 3 o'clock kickoff at Leicester City. I'll be, of course, covering the likely lineups closer to the game, but it's really great to see everybody training, and certainly the team are going to be buoyed by what was a fantastic turnaround against Aston Villa, and one that gave us a much needed boost, as did Nottingham Forest holding Manchester City to a draw. I'm still not sure how they did it, but I'm absolutely thrilled. And of course, Man City will face RB Leipzig in what is going to be hopefully a really great match. I wish Man City all the best on this. I would love them to be completely distracted by Champions League. It might be a slight advantage, but I certainly think it's going to be an advantage. So, still no news on Gabby Jesus' imminent return. I've already earmarked the Fulham game as what I think it will be. But apart from that, I don't seem to have any particular injury problems to deal with. And the game against Leicester could put us 5 points clear. That's been the news. So that's been the news from Wednesday, the 22nd of February. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to help and support a channel dedicated to a team we love, then by all means, do click like, leave a comment, click subscribe, the little bell, notifications, send money in a brown paper envelope, a la George Graham. On that, there is a video coming on a man who, love him or hate him, and he is divisive now, George Graham. I'm doing a biography of the man who was in charge when I really started supporting the club. Thank you so much for all the support you've given us so far. We're on 17 subscribers. So if you want to wear the number 18 shirt a la Gilles Grimandi, then hit the subscribe now and be quick about it. There'll be another video tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you're at a loss for something to do, I have posted the highlights package of the Littlewoods Cup in 1987 and as one of our classic matches. I hope you enjoy it. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Lots of love.